everyone, it's Pam with Organizer AZ911, and this is part 3 of my latest video series. I think I titled it A Professional Organizer's Confession, where I kind of confess that although I have everything else in my life organized, that my weight was out of control, and I spent last year getting it back in control. And so in that journey I discovered how close and how the journeys of losing weight and the journey of getting organized, they're parallel paths. So this is part 3. I welcome you to go back and look at parts 1 and 2 if you haven't already. But in this video I thought, well, what should I talk about? There's so many different things. And I'm going to try to bring this series kind of like through my discoveries from the beginning. So let's talk about my very first session I had with my trainer, Christy, who I told you in the last video is just an amazing woman who's changed my life. And one of the first discoveries that I made, or figured out when I started working with her, was when on my first visit, you know, we tried to see what I could do physically and all that stuff, but when I asked her what should I be doing until we met the next time, she says, I just want you to journal what you are eating. And she says, don't worry about what's on the journal, just put it down so I can see what's actually happening. Don't sugarcoat it, don't lie, be very truthful and honest. And so she says, just put it in a notebook, write down everything you're eating so I can see, and we can go from there. And with regard to exercise, she basically told me, you know, if you can get out and walk, that's your best thing for right now. And I realized later that that is kind of like the first step of what I do with my clients, and that is a type of journaling or a questionnaire. So you can't start either one of these journeys, the journey to getting organized or the journey to getting to losing weight, without analyzing what's going on first. A lot of people, let's take organizing, okay? I have so many clients who are like, they already have just piles and piles of all sorts of sorting bins and all sorts of organizing things that they purchased before I even get there sometimes. And really with organizing, what you need to do first before you ever start considering going out and buying things or even starting to sort is you have to analyze what's going on first. I tell people so many times, I was doing a workshop today, and one of the first things I told them, it was an organizing workshop on how to organize your office, and I said, what you have to do first is analyze what's going on in your life first. So keep a little notepad and spend a week writing down where piles are piling up, what has happened when you were, when you're placing paper there, what are your thought processes. And I literally will have a lot of my clients journal what they are doing before we even start organizing. And or if they don't do that, I will be sending them questionnaires through the email and say, can you answer all these questions? It's like 2 or 3 pages that I keep asking them questions over and over. And that is a way to analyze what is happening first before you start tackling the problem. It's like going into a doctor and expecting the medicine before he even examines you. You know, same thing with organizing. You're looking for the final fix before you figure out what's going on and what's wrong. And so you can often ruin the organization in a room if you don't know what's happening first. Does that make sense? Same thing with eating healthy and weight loss. You have to see what you're doing first to see where the problems might be. And one of the things we discovered when I journaled every single thing, and it was hard, I tell you, so many times I wanted to lie. I'm like, I don't want to face Christy and let her see what I was eating, you know. But I did like a lot of those diet foods, like, you know, all of them, you know, the frozen dinners, the little cuisine kind of things, the little frozen dinners that are supposed to be so healthy for you. And I often did eat those for dinner because it was fast, it was easy, and I thought, oh, well, it's healthy. And that is the first thing, had I not been journaling, that's one of the first things Christy honed in on, was she's like, you know what? there's not enough food in those meals for the calories they're giving you. And you'll be starving in an hour or two, and which was so true. I was always doing that when I was eating those nice lean meals, frozen prepared meals. I was always hungry. So like I said, if I hadn't journaled, she wouldn't have caught that right away. And she's like, no, you got to eat the right foods that will fill you up, and then, you know, for the same amount of calories as that tiny little serving you were getting in those little prepared frozen dinners. So, and again, like I said, and even since then, whenever I've gotten a little off track or my weight wasn't dropping like it should, first thing she'd say, go back to journaling your food, something's off. And it helps you see where the problem is. Okay, so with weight loss, by journaling and seeing, you know, jotting down everything you're eating, you can see where the problems are occurring. Plus, I noticed, you know, when I'd stopped losing weight, I was piling more calories in at night than in the morning. You know, it just gives you a visual. Same thing with organizing. You journal, you can see what's going on. I ask so many questions, and I have people write that, because a lot of times we take for granted what we're doing, or we don't think about it. It's second nature, and so we don't think to bring it up, but it can be a really huge issue, whether it's, like I said, organizing or with weight loss. So in this part 3, take your first week and journal what you are doing. And again, if it's with weight loss, write down everything you're eating, and write down what you're exercising and how you're feeling. Did you get a lot of sleep? You know, how much sleep? Because that's another thing we discovered with my journaling, is that I get way too little sleep. And then again, on the organizing, start journaling. Where the piles are happening? What has happened when you're doing it? Are you rushed? Is it work related? Is it personal? Things like that. Okay, so journal, journal, journal. That seems to be the first thing that I realized is identical in both worlds of getting organized and weight loss. All right, I hope I haven't rambled too much. Like I said, this is something very personal to me, so I want to give you any information I have that might be helpful to you. Next week, I will upload part 4 of this series, and just like I said, every week I'll give you a new tip on something that I noticed that both the worlds of getting organized and losing weight, how they matched up, and hopefully it'll help you. All right, for more tips, please like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to this channel so you can get these videos or get notices when these videos are uploaded, and hopefully they can help you. I'm Pam with Organizer AZ 911. Thanks for watching.